Kendra with Blue and the charmed ones too on Charmed Chats.
So before we get started today, we would just like to add the disclaimer up top that it's fucking hot.
Yes, it is.
In Chicago right now, and the AC in my place does not quite reach my room at the top of the goddamn house. So, we have the AC on right now because turning it off would quickly turn this place into a sauna, I would say. Not a boiler, but a sauna.
Yeah, it would definitely be a sauna. And I am not a sauna person.
Mm-hmm. It'd be a boiler if we were, like, in a more humid locale.
Yes.
But now it is simply
a sauna.
Avoiding being a sauna.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you will hear the sound of fan and air conditioning, because otherwise this podcast will no longer exist since we will both die of heat exhaustion.
No, you will die.
I will die of heat exhaustion.
You will die. I will carry on your memory after I call the coroner.
Yes.
So you can be carted away and your parents can be notified.
Yes. I don't do well in heat.
No, I know. I don't do well in heat either, but I at least do better than you.
You really do. You really do.
Yep.
Anyway,
howdy!
Hello.
Welcome to Charmed Chats with Kendra
and Kat.
We're both very, very warm right now.
Oh God, it's so hot. I'm already dehydrated, but we're gonna push through.
Yeah, you're gonna finish your entire drink before we finish this
probably
meal of a podcast.
Yep. So
Contrary
I apologize.
to your typical modus operandi.
Yep. I apologize if you hear me drinking. I'm just not caring at this point because
or is it operandum?
I'm liking not dying. I do not.
I think
know.
It's operandum because it's just
idea.
the one. Because you just have the one method.
No idea. Anyway, we are at episode 313, Bride and Gloom.
Might be my favorite title from the season.
It is, of course, a play on Bride and Groom, but I'm not going to tangent on that because even I'm not that crazy.
Yep.
It aired on February 8th, 2001.
Which I'm sure was a much cooler day than today.
Yeah.
Even in San Francisco.
Yeah. Because February.
Mm-hmm. Well, I gather the whole, like, Pacific, I don't know, I don't think it's called a Gulf Stream, but, like, the current that comes down from Alaska makes seasons a bit weird in San Francisco, is what I gather.
I know not.
I was in San Francisco on Tuesday, but only long enough to walk from where my flight had landed to where my next flight was taking off, and purchase a Golden Gate bottle opener.
Nice.
And some trolley cars.
Nice.
And a book. It turned into a 4-book trip.
Well,
I brought 2. I got 2 more.
Well then.
San Francisco was very nice to have the one book that I told myself I was allowed to buy.
Nice.
Yes, Blue? Mm-hmm. He heard a noise.
He did.
Now he's gonna stare at the door. Okie
Anyway.
doke.
Yeah, that's probably Colin downstairs, and I don't care enough to...
I don't care enough either.
Yeah.
There's gonna be noises in this one, guys.
Sorry.
If it bothers you, just wait until it cools down, please. Okay, so we start off with an exterior night shot of the manor.
Yeah.
Inside, Phoebe is lying on her bed, eating a bowl of completely unseasoned, breaking my heart, popcorn, and watching...
Hey, you know, it could have been seasoned with, like, white cheddar. You never know.
No, it wasn't.
No, it absolutely wasn't.
It absolutely was not.
No,
It was dry fucking popcorn. You know how I know? Because props would not want, or like wardrobe or whatever, whoever is tentatively doing the vaguest continuity shit would not want powder all over her.
True. Very true.
So they would make dry-ass popcorn. They probably used an air popper.
Yep. Probably.
Because those were a thing then. Yeah, they've been around for a really long time.
Oh, yeah.
It's making me want to pull out my Death Star air popper.
Anyway, she's watching Kill It Before It Dies, which is a lovely callback to episode 218, Chick Flick, which is where you can find all the info about the actors who play Sally Mae and Billy.
And it looks like they've just recycled the footage from, I guess, the first time they showed it in 218.
Yep. Phoebe is wearing a blue cami top with yellow stars on it, where these straps tie into little bows at the shoulders. It's kind of cute. But she's wearing it over a white shirt, which is slightly confusing. Her hair is mostly down with just a couple of bits pulled back on either side, with a few strands falling into her face.
One of my friends in high school used to call those sexies.
And it's still mostly brown, but she's added back in like some very, very subtle blonde highlights, just framing her face.
Yeah.
Like super duper subtle.
Yeah, like maple tones or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what they'd call that.
Yeah. So anyway, Billy May and Sally go off screen.
Into the now not scary anymore woods.
Yeah.
And shimmer in a dark figure. Hey, look, it's Cole.
Yes, he shimmers into the TV. He's wearing black pants and a black turtleneck because, of course, he is.
Uh-huh. And for some reason, the movie is not ending, unlike when they had the demon happening.
Yep.
Who knows why? Maybe he's just stopped the film. No idea.
Right.
But anyway, he kind of says hi.
Yeah,
and
she
walks up
leans
to
in, like, noticing him.
She sits up.
Yeah.
Like, she was very comfortably reclined, and now she is sitting up.
Yeah. So he says that he learned this trick of showing up in the movie from the Demon of Illusion, which makes me wonder when he learned it.
Good. He's been watching them for a very long time. But yeah, he wasn't around in season 2.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
And they, vanquished that one, so...
Maybe he was in his research?
Maybe.
Because he did have that dossier on her.
He did. But
it was an extensive dossier. I think it... Didn't it list her favorite movie?
Yes, it did.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's probably where he learned it.
Yeah. It's one of those where it just interests me as to when he learned this from the Demon of Illusion.
I want to know, is there like an evil... Not accountant, but like... some kind of clerical office that just records like who dies and who killed them and when it happened?
I don't know.
That'd be fun. I want to see a show about them. Well, actually, I don't. I want to see an episode about them.
Yeah.
Just like sitting there like, yeah, we're evil, but we just keep records. Like, we don't get involved. We're just, legal.
Yeah. We're just the evil legal department.
We're lawful evil.
Yes, absolutely. Anyway, Cole basically says that he thought showing up in her favorite movie would be a safer way of letting her know that he was back.
For good.
Dun, dun, dun.
And opening credits.
Yeah. So, with the exception of the pre-credit scene, which I have seen in gift sets, I literally do not remember this episode at all.
I don't remember the beginning, but everything from, like, I think the midpoint on, I pretty vaguely remember. I definitely remember certain magical trickies that happen, and I definitely remember the outfits.
Yeah, no, I literally
because
did
I
not
can't
remember
look at them and go,
anything.
hey, that episode. Well, I have to think about that episode, but yeah, this episode, rather.
Yeah. No, I literally did not remember anything with the exception of the pre-credit scene.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I even remember that is because of gift sets.
See, that's the funny thing. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot Cole was in this episode.
Yeah.
Because I just remember all the shit with the wedding planners.
So, we have no Daryl this episode.
Oh, sad face.
Sad face.
He does get a mention, though.
He does.
We start off with an exterior shot of P3. There's no now appearing sign.
Still. But there's now a valet parking guy.
For some reason.
Apparently. So, I know that other countries have valet parking, but some people might not know what it is, so I'm going to tell you about it. It's a service where you give your car to someone else to park it for you.
And right now there's a movie out with David Tennant.
Yeah.
About 2 valet kids who use the GPS features on people's cars to go steal from their homes.
Right.
And only really rich people.
Right, which is why it is a service that I do not trust 90% of the time. Like, I don't trust my own father to drive my car. Why would I trust a complete stranger?
I honestly don't usually trust myself to drive other people's cars, but I will do it.
Yeah.
I just get very anxious while doing it.
Yeah. Like,
Especially Colin's car, because he's missing one of his side mirrors.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Is it the driver's side or passenger?
No, passenger.
Mm.
Yeah.
See, I dealt without a passenger side mirror for, like, 3 years, so... Have I never told you this story?
No.
I was in my station wagon, and I was driving my car, minding my own business. I had the windows down. It was like middle of July, whatever. And some jackass runs the red light right next to me. Slides into my car as he runs the red light and pops my side mirror off my car. It wound up. It did this weird thing where, like, it bounced. Like, it, not bounced. It, like, got bent. Yeah, it, like, bent backwards. Yeah. And when it came back the other direction, that's when it got ripped off the car. And it wound up in my back seat.
That's hilarious. Did the mirror shatter? That's even more hilarious.
Yeah. No, it was fucking funny as hell. But there was a lovely hole in the side of my car. I took it to my dealer and I was like, you know, is there any way we can just, like, epoxy it back on? And they're like, no. We'd literally have to take the entire side panel off the car and replace it. And I'm like, yeah, that's a little bit more expensive than I'm willing to do. I'll just deal without a side mirror.
Oh, so you didn't get the guy's license?
No, he ran through a red light. I was stopped at the red light. It was like 9 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And
so you were not fully
I was not fully cognizant. It was yeah.
Cat's not a morning kitty.
I'm not. I'm really not a morning person, like, at all.
Blue's more of a morning person than you.
Yes.
He's not a person.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was like 9 o'clock in the morning and he ran through the red light. But I had been stopped at the red light for a good 30 seconds at least. And then he went through the red light. So no, I wasn't paying any attention to, other than the fact that, like, oh, thank God my windows were down. Otherwise it would have smashed through my window.
Probably.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so then I just wound up, I drove the car for the rest of its existence without a side mirror. Which, though, if you think about it, when cars were first made, they didn't have passenger side mirrors. They only had driver side mirrors.
They also didn't have seatbelts.
Very true.
And I recall reading a story, an anecdote that Roald Dahl told about his first ride in a car when he was a kid, where I guess something happened and he hit the windshield and they had to reattach his nose.
Oh my.
It survived, but, like, it wasn't... It got partially taken off a little bit.
Then.
Sorry for the graphicness,
Yeah.
but he was fine.
Yeah. Anyway.
Also, if it makes you feel better, I think he was kind of a racist son of a bitch, so...
Well, there you go.
That helps.
There you go.
Don't feel too bad.
Yeah.
Also, he wrote a James Bond movie. He wrote the screenplay for a James Bond movie, and Ian Fleming wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the screenplay.
Huh.
They traded, which I think is hilarious. Anyway, to get off of this extremely long tangent.
Yes, so Prue and Justin walk outside apparently at the end of their date. And reminder that we first met Justin in episode 309, so you can go back to that episode.
Was it only that long ago? It feels like much longer.
I know. You can go back to that episode for all of his info. Prue is in a gold miniskirt, shiny metallic top, and fuzzy cream jacket. Her hair is down and she's carrying a small purse that matches the jacket. Justin is in black pants, a black shirt, and a black leather jacket.
So he's literally nothing.
Yep. Apparently, Prue was being fairly quiet during their date, which Justin was being paranoid about, thinking that it was due to him.
You're not paranoid, sweetie.
Nope. But she says that she's just got a lot on her mind because Piper's getting married.
And she's very purposefully not looking him in the eye, which, as the cliche goes, means she's lying.
That is very true. They make a lunch date for 1 p.m. the next day and kiss goodbye very awkwardly.
Oh my god, yeah.
And then Jason walks to his car as the valet guy brings it up to the door.
We get a quick glimpse of a guy with the beginning of a receding hairline looking at them a bit weirdly during this awkward kiss. Mm-hmm. And as Prue walks back inside, he watches her go. And she takes off her jacket as she goes in, and we can see that her shirt is held on by just 2 strings on her back, so no bra. Mm-hmm. She has a fondness for the shirts really being held together by 2 strings at the back. Like almost completely backless shirts. Yeah. Might as well call them backless because there's nothing there. Yeah. So the music gives us a dramatic horn moment, and we see this dude who's been staring at her walk off screen. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the dramatic horn moment is just a Netflix thing or if it was in the original show, but it was just the most beautiful dramatic horn moment.
This doesn't seem... It's like kind of nondescript music, so I'd have to hazard a guess that it is in the original.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it's not recognizable enough to want to be like,
Right.
oh yeah, you lose the copyright to this.
Right. So we know that he's going to be back because we got dramatic horn music, but
And he looks evil. So.
Yeah, and he looks evil. But I'm not going to tell you about him until he gets a line or a name, whichever comes first.
Yeah, he's got a strong cheekbone, receding hairline, and black clothing. He's evil.
Yeah. So we cut inside P3, and Prue walks up to Piper and Leo, who are sitting at the bar. Piper is in another shiny metallic top. She's got one of her own.
It's got a back, though.
Yes, it does. And she's paired it with a brown skirt. She's got that little diamond necklace on. Her hair is mostly down. She's got a couple of little braids on either side, and they're tied with pieces of brown suede.
Yeah, like kind of at about cheekbone height, too. Like they're like 2-inch braids, and then the rest is just loose.
Yep. Leo is in a blue shirt under a black jacket and dark pants.
Piper, noticing Prue, looks at her watch, says, "Oh, what, 9 p.m.? Your date's already over?"
Yeah.
Prue makes...
She has a very cute line where she goes, "How Disney of you." Like, how very Disney of you.
Yeah, we're not going to tangent on Disney.
Yeah, no, but because if I am me, I'll at least put a link to the wiki on the website.
Yeah, apparently Justin had an early meeting, and Piper just ignores this and says, "Oh, are you going to invite him to the wedding?"
Yeah, Prue says that she's stalling because she thinks that Justin is a nice, sweet, predictable guy, but that there's no mystery or savoir-faire to him.
And on the word savoir-faire, we cut to evil dude looking around the corner.
Of course, but I had to look that one up because I knew that it was French, but I needed to know exactly what the definition of that word is.
Know-how.
Yeah, it means being adaptable or like knowing what to do in any
It
situation.
literally means to know to do.
Yeah. It's a lovely French noun phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Prue puts on some liquid lipstick, which we are shown very prominently that she's putting on this liquid lipstick.
It's honestly lip gloss.
They call it lipstick. It's liquid lipstick, but it doesn't really have much color or anything. So yeah.
It's sparkly. It's about all we get.
A little bit. She says that a wedding invite definitely makes a statement.
And Leo jokes, what, that he can put on a bow tie?
Yeah, he can tie a bow tie. But Prue says that the statement is that the relationship is serious and it's actually going somewhere.
I think the statement is, hey, you're not awkward, and there's a wedding coming up and I don't have anyone else to ask. Come on.
That could be a thing, yeah.
Also, you know my family.
But he doesn't know their secret, so...
Yeah, but it's going to be established in a second that doesn't really factor into Piper's plans.
Well, yeah. So Leo says something about having a simple private wedding, but of course Piper isn't having it. She reminds him that they meet the wedding planners at 11 a.m. the next day, and he can't get out of it. No orbing out, no orbing away.
Nothing.
And then she gets up and walks away, and the man who was watching them before pretends to be on the phone as Piper walks past and, like, goes through a door. So now
Into,
they're in
like, one of the back rooms.
Yeah. So, in all of the posters lining the walls, the one that stood out the most for me was for a band called Disturbed, which is a heavy metal band from Chicago.
I know about them.
Yeah. They were formed in 1994, and they are best known for the song Down with the Sickness, which was on the soundtrack for the movie Queen of the Damned back in 2002.
I love that movie.
But if you haven't heard their 2015 version of the 1965 Simon & Garfunkel song Sound of Silence, you need to do that. I will link to stuff on the website for you so you can check it out.
You play that all the time in the car.
Oh my god, it's such a good song. Oh, such a good song. And the craziest part is if you listen to Down with the Sickness and then you listen to that, you go, holy fuck, this guy can actually sing. Mm-hmm. Not just scream.
I mean, honestly, it does not surprise me when heavy metal people can actually sing because they need to have a lot of solid technique to be able to keep that shit up.
Yep.
So, training they must have.
Yep.
Or career they will not.
Yes.
Anyway, so after that tangent, creepy dude puts down the phone he wasn't actually putting it to his head and, like, takes a deep breath and morphs into an exact copy of Piper.
Yes.
And then does this thing that Holly does whenever she's playing someone else as Piper, where she does that, like, analytical look around
Yeah.
that I
Like,
really like.
Is anybody watching? Okay.
It's like, okay, I have this body now. Let's see what we can do with it. Like,
Yeah.
that kind of a thing.
Yep. We cut back to Prue and Leo. Leo is wondering how they're going to have a normal wedding when, quote, a ghost will be presiding and the groom's dead, unquote. Love that line. It was great. It does make me wonder why Piper thinks it's a good idea for Prue to invite Justin in the first place.
Because he knows the family.
But he doesn't know their secret.
Well, yes. But he knows the family.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Prue tells him that it's a Cinderella complex and every girl goes through it.
I don't think that's
No,
true.
It's not.
I didn't even think about having a wedding, like anything to do with a wedding, until I was engaged. And then
that didn't last.
Yeah, and then the engagement fell through, and I haven't thought about it since. Like, I vaguely remember that I wanted, like, the theme or the colors to be, like, lilac, black, and silver.
Nice.
Yeah. But,
Indicative.
like, I've planned other people's weddings.
Hmm.
I've done that a bunch, actually.
Yeah, I don't.
I have planned 6 weddings.
Nice.
Or at least helped plan 6
I
weddings.
assume they were very small weddings?
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, my friends are very private people, and so they usually have very small weddings. But yeah, I've helped plan at least 6.
Yeah, the wedding I was just at in California, very, very small. We only got invited, like the 5 people that she knows really well from college. We only got invited to this one because we were originally invited to the one that was going to happen in London because she wanted that one to be like a little bigger. It was going to be like a weekend, like camping and LARPing and stuff. And she knows her friends would like that. And I was originally planning on doing that. And then she sent me an invite for this one, and I noticed the dates were different. I'm like, hey, what's going on here? And she's like, oh yeah, well, you know, we had a couple of cancellations that people couldn't come, and there was enough room, and I asked my parents because, like, not, like, I think you were the only one who could actually take a plane to England, and I would rather, like, all of my friends be at this thing, so it was less PTO for me to spend anyway.
There you go.
And it was very cute, but, like, we literally fit all under this big tree on this resort. And it was really funny because the tree blocks enough sunlight that the grass under it can't grow. So just that, like, square in front of this waterfall is AstroTurf. Everything else is grass, which I do not recommend in Southern California. Honestly, the rest of it should be AstroTurf as well.
Yeah, well.
Because drought, much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was maybe 50 people. Maybe.
Yeah.
And we were outside.
See, I've done the outdoor wedding thing. I've done the worst wedding that I was ever at was an outdoor wedding in winter. And let me tell you.
Yeah, no.
Like, it wasn't supposed to snow. It was like the very beginning of winter. It was like the first week of winter. It wasn't supposed to snow. It was supposed to still kind of be a little bit like cool, but not like freezing.
Mm-hmm.
And it snowed the day before.
Yeah.
And so there was like 3 inches of snow outdoors, and they had no contingency for indoors.
Nope, no one brought their flamethrower.
Yep. And so I remember vividly, walking in, and the best part about that wedding though was that nobody was wearing dresses. The theme was pants. Like, legit. She goes, it's fucking winter. You don't have to wear a dress. Everybody in pants, please. Like, even the bride was wearing...
keeping you warm.
Yeah, even the bride was wearing a white pantsuit.
Mm-hmm. I've got to show you that song.
Okay.
Because it's cute.
Okay. But yeah, I remember vividly walking in, and I'm in my outfit and whatever, and walking in with my boots and all my stuff, and they had literally just done a snowplow thing to plow out where all of the seats were going to be and where they were going to be standing. And the reception was always going to be inside, but the ceremony was going to be outside, and there was no contingency to bring it inside because of the timing of things. And she goes, well, this is what we're going to do. We are cutting down the time that we are going to be outside. Mm-hmm. And she talked, because it wasn't like a religious ceremony.
Yeah.
Because most of my friends aren't religious. It was, they had a justice of the peace who was going to say some words, and they were going to say their vows and whatever. And she goes, okay. So everybody was gathered inside, and she's like, we're going to walk outside. Everybody's going to take their seats. I'm going to do the walk down the aisle thing. We're going to get to the end. And the justice of the peace is going to be like, do you? Yes. Do you? Yes. Awesome. You're married. Let's go have food. And that's what they did. And we were outside for less than 10 minutes.
That's awesome.
Great.
This wedding I was just at was also pretty short. Like this, they planned the ceremony to be a half hour, and it came in a little under. And their contingency for being in Southern California in June was that the programs are literally fans.
Yep.
They are pizza wedge shaped. They have a hole at the bottom tied with a ribbon, and you fan them out. And the only problem is that the pages are kind of flimsy and they don't give you much.
Yeah.
But literally, the first page is, hey, here's the cover. Second page is the wedding party. Third page is the ceremony. Fourth page is the thank you, and that's it.
Yep.
And it's not wide, so there isn't much. But they did a couple of readings.
Yeah.
First is from Song of Songs. Second is from Winnie the Pooh. That was the bride's choice.
Nice.
And third is a poem her husband wrote her.
Aww.
It was really cute. They had already actually officially gotten married on Friday or something.
Yeah.
So this was just hey, with friends.
90% of the time, you are married before the ceremony happens.
I think you have to be.
Yeah, because you sign the wedding certificate.
Yeah.
Beforehand. That's usually
you're
what
not
happens.
allowed. I know Colin knows the rules because he's an officiant. And he did it more recently than you, so he's probably a little more up on them.
Yes.
And if the laws have changed, maybe, I don't know. But he definitely was explaining it to our friends, and he's like, so yeah, you have to, here's the deadline for before the wedding when you have to, have all of the papers in order and filed.
Yep.
And only once it's filed, then you, do the blah, 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 and then you can do the ceremony. But you can't do the ceremony unless it's filed.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of rules for it and whatever.
But yeah, the best part of this wedding was that in the middle of the vows, they're in front of a waterfall. A bullfrog started doing its thing.
That's funny.
Right in the middle, she did her vows first, and it started right before she began reading the vows, and then she started talking, and the bullfrog shut up. And then it started when she was paused, and then it shut up again when she continued, and then it went through all of his vows.
That's fucking funny.
It was hilarious.
That is really, really funny.
And then his final vow was to boop her on the nose. She gave him a bit of a dirty look at that.
That's adorable, though.
She's a very adorable person. Yeah. Honestly, she's the oldest of her siblings. She does not look the oldest. She is the shortest. She has the roundest face. She looks like she's about 15. But no.
Anyway, I think we've changed it enough about weddings and stuff. So, back to the show. Prue says that she's been dreaming of this day her entire life. Leo asks if she means that she's been dreaming about Piper's wedding, but Prue playfully slaps his arm, saying that she's talking about her own wedding, and that since she's the oldest, she's supposed to do everything first.
Yeah, no.
That's not how that works.
No, that's not how it works. You get married when you get married, if you get married.
Yep. Hey,
she probably did. Yeah, she probably, had sex first, because Phoebe would have been, 11.
Here's hoping. I mean, just logistically with the ages, here's hoping.
Well, I'm just thinking because that whole bit when she got turned into a teenager again, they mentioned that when she was 16, she went through that phase and got in with, a really, bad dude. I'm like, yeah, she probably had sex then.
Mm-hmm. Shapeshifter Piper walks up to them and asks to borrow Prue's lipstick.
And is kind of, casing the joint at the same time.
Yeah, Prue seems a little confused at first, but then she hands it over, and she hands over the liquid lipstick that we pointedly saw her using earlier.
And then Shapeshifter Piper walks away, and Prue's like, "You're welcome," and then they both go back to talking about business.
Yeah, and walking back into the back room by the phones, we see a couple people leaving the area, and then dude shifts back into himself once he's out of sight, and then he blinks out. So now we know he's a warlock.
Yeah, we get we get that trademark blinking sound, which I love.
Yes. We cut back to Prue and Leo. Leo is telling Prue that she should let Phoebe off the hook a bit because she did come clean about Cole. But Prue says that she can't get away with pretending to have vanquished him for 2 months.
Yeah, Leo says that for what it's worth, Phoebe doesn't seem like she wants Cole in her life anymore. But Prue's like, that doesn't mean he's not going to try and kill us again.
Yeah. So we jump over to creepy warlock dude as a rat scurries across the frame, and we see him walk up to an altar. He's probably somewhere underground, as it looks like the typical underworld type setting.
Mm-hmm. Dark rocks, poor lighting, some cobwebs, all that shit. This place has everything.
Mm-hmm. He kneels down in front of the altar, and then a woman appears in front of him looking every bit a gothic beauty in her black dress and velvet cloak.
And the way she appears is really funny because it's almost like a motion blur in the vertical.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like, the center of it is red.
Yeah.
Which was interesting, I thought, because I don't think we've seen people appear like that before. Or if we have, it wasn't as distinct.
Yeah.
As much flair.
So during this scene, we get a name for both of these characters, so let me tell you about them. His character is named Zyle. The actor is Tom O'Brien, and that's O'Brien spelled with an E. Like Liam O'Brien of Critical Role fame. He was born in 1965 in Burbank, California. His first acting credit on IMDb is in 1984. He was on all 23 episodes of a show called Call to Glory, which was based in the 1960s and starred Craig T. Nelson as Colonel Raynor Cernick. Which, the only reason I bring that up is just because I wanted people to know that that was a name that was on TV.
Yeah, it sounds very sci-fi.
It sounds like a D&D character. Raynor Cernick. Anyway.
It's very close to Sarlacc.
Yeah. It was one of those where I was like, I need more people to know that this was a thing that existed.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
You just need, like, 2 spelling changes, and it would be Sarlacc. Because, as everyone knows, Sarlacc is spelled with an L and 2 C's.
Mm-hmm. He hasn't done anything since an episode of Supernatural back in 2008. The woman who appears in front of him is Priestess Dentalian. Yeah, it's
Dentalian?
Dentalian. It's
I misheard it as D'Artagnan.
Yeah, it's a weird name. Dentalian, whatever.
Uh-huh.
She's played by Una Damon.
Which is hilarious because in some language that probably means a demon.
Possibly. She was born in South Korea in 1964 as Una Kim, and she acted between 1993 and 2007.
She's a bit of a that woman.
A little bit, but not a lot.
She hasn't been in a lot, but she's very recognizable.
She's very recognizable. She has a very stereotypical, like, Korean face, where it's that, like, it's very symmetrical, very pretty, but kind of like nondescript, other than Asian. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, she is definitely a quintessential, like, hey, we need someone Asian.
Yeah.
This person.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's one of those where, like, if you saw her in the background, you'd be like, oh, an Asian person, okay. But, like, you never really, like, if you were trying to describe her, other than she's Asian,
mm-hmm.
There's no real way, there's nothing, like, distinctive about her features, other than she's a very pretty Asian woman.
Maybe if we stared at her longer, I'm sure we'd find something.
Maybe. Anyway, so he gets up and hands her the lipstick he took from Prue. She asks if he's certain that it touched her lips.
And he's like, yeah, I followed her all fucking night.
Yeah. He then asks what she gets out of making Prue Halliwell his wife.
Yeah,
let that sink in. And she says that she is a humble servant of the source.
Which means, fuck you, you don't need to know my reasons.
Yeah, she says she only gets the benefits that everybody else gets when good turns to evil.
Which sounds like she's not answering the question.
Yeah.
And she's not.
Nope.
But then she's like adding things to a little bowl.
Including a live scorpion.
Mm-hmm.
Which, let me tell you, I have realized that I am not afraid of scorpions when they are on screen. I can look at a scorpion on screen and I'm okay with it.
Because they are arachnids.
I know.
Just like crabs.
Yeah. I have a fear of spiders, not arachnids. This is what I have come to the conclusion of.
Well, they are very different shapes, so I understand that.
Yeah.
And you haven't
It's the
encountered...
legs.
Have you encountered a scorpion in real life?
No.
That's probably it.
Yeah.
Like,
because I don't have a problem with snakes.
mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem with bugs in general. It's just spiders. Like, and you'd think, oh, it's they've got so many legs. No, because I don't have an issue with millipedes or centipedes. No, because not all spiders are fuzzy.
True.
And it's not even the size, because not all spiders are big.
Is it the scurry?
It might be. I don't know. I think it's just, there's just something...
Sorry, I realized I could have done that 2 ways. The scurry, as in their movement, and also because they're scurry. They're very scurry.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think it's just... Thank you, Blue, with the snoring. I think it's just, like, there's an ingrained sense of something in my head.
Epigenetic memory, possibly?
Possibly. Because, like, I don't... As much as I don't like cockroaches, I'm not scared of them.
They avoid people. They wash themselves after they touch people.
Well, but see, here's the thing. Like, I grew up in an apartment that had cockroaches.
Yep, that's probably it.
Like,
Early exposure.
lots of cockroaches.
Yeah. Fuck that landlord.
Yeah. No, like, there was... I don't even know... Okay, I'm gonna tell a story real quick. If you don't want to hear the story of the cockroaches, skip ahead.
Just hit that 15
Yeah.
button if you've got the one that has the 15-second button.
Yeah. So, I grew up in an apartment with many, many cockroaches in the walls. Like, I have vivid memories of putting the Raid stick outside my door to keep the cockroaches out of my bedroom. When I was about... Oh, God, I don't even remember how old I was now. But, like, there was a moment where I was in the bathroom and we were doing something and I wound up, like, slipping and hitting the back of the wall inside the bathtub. And my hand went through the tile because, you know, it was starting to rot because there was water in the walls. And put a hole through the tile. And so we had to get the dude to get the landlord in to come in and replace the wall in the bathroom. And when he pulled the wall down, thousands of cockroaches, some living, some dead, poured out of the wall. Like, it was a waterfall of cockroaches.
That's a horror movie.
Yeah, just a bit. And we had been living with that.
You're not scared of them?
Nope. For some reason, I'm not scared of cockroaches.
Funky.
Yeah. But Waterfall of Cockroaches is my Papa Roach cover band. All right. So. All right. So
okay, we're done talking about cockroaches now.
I was going to say, the story is over. So if you have done the skipping thing, you can come back now and all is good. All is good. So, anyway.
So, as she's adding said live scorpion, a very nicely trained scorpion who's well acclimated to human handling, clearly, says, Vile, what's his name? Zyle. I rhymed. Zyle says, oh, well, you should get something for this. He's totally a suck-up.
Yeah.
He's a black-brown noser. Sorry, as in, like, he's dark and he's wearing all black and he's evil. That kind of.
Evil.
Yes, he's an evil brown noser.
Yeah.
I just wanted there to be a color pun.
Yeah. No, it doesn't really work.
He's a dark side brown noser.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
And she just offhandedly, casually, like dropping it into conversation. Well, as you happen to mention it,
yes,
I shall tell you that the Book of Shadows, the most magical of all tomes, intrigues her.
Yes.
I'm doing lots of hand motions.
Yes. He says that it shouldn't be that hard to get, but she tells him that evil can't touch it.
But, ding ding ding, turning Prue evil should also turn her sisters and the book evil, because their magic is interconnected.
Uh-huh. He says that he'll get it for her as a token of gratitude, but she says that he first needs to get Prue to them so that she can perform the ceremony, and then she, like, wipes some potion that she made on his lips.
And he looks like he enjoys that a lot.
Yeah, a little creepiness, a little bit.
Well, he's evil.
Yeah.
And he's a stalker.
Yes.
He's an evil stalker and she's an evil priestess. Like, creepy is kind of their forte.
Yeah, a little bit. He tells her... No.
He tells her...
No.
Or she tells him to kiss Prue, which will paralyze her, and then she will bind them in marriage. So yeah, shotgun wedding. Which actually is the description for Netflix.
Yes.
That Prue gets tricked into a shotgun wedding. And I'm thinking, what's the evil equivalent of a shotgun? And then I remembered that episode... Yeah, crossbow wedding. But then I remembered that episode where Prue was trying to booby trap the Book of Shadows. And she had the crystals, and Cole called it a shotgun.
Yeah.
He's like, that's like having a shotgun behind a tripwire on your front door.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, so crystal wedding? But no, that's technically a good thing. So yeah, crossbow wedding. Yep. It's a crossbow wedding.
It's a crossbow wedding. Anyway, Yeah, so she tells him to kiss Prue, which will paralyze her. She'll bind them in marriage, and then she'll fall into a deep sleep, and the transformation to evil will occur.
And I'm like, you couldn't have written this to be any less high
Cliche.
exposition.
And cliche.
Well, cliche,
Oh,
yes,
man.
but like there was a better way to write this exposition, and they did not choose it.
They did not. So he bows to her, and then we do a fade into a shaky helicopter night shot of the Triangle Building that transitions into a shaky helicopter day shot of the Triangle Building.
Mm-hmm.
And then to
Trans-America Pyramid.
Yes. And then into an exterior shot of the manor.
Prue, Leo, and 2 wedding planners are standing in the foyer as Piper walks down the stairs, and she's explaining her plans for the ceremony.
Yeah. Piper is in dark pants, a light blue cami top covered by a matching sheer top with slight belled sleeves with like ribbon details and small ruffles.
There's a lot of ribbons, guys.
A lot of ribbons.
A lot of ribbons.
Like a lot of ribbons.
And the blue cami top is shiny. Mm-hmm. So she's still going metallic.
Yeah. And she's still got that tiny little diamond necklace. Mm-hmm. Leo is in khaki pants and a red shirt under a red plaid button-down. Prue is in jeans with a very large belt and a button-down shirt that is in a patchwork of purple, brown, red, and tan.
And I like it.
It's not bad looking. It's just an odd combination of colors.
It looks really good.
But it doesn't look bad on her. Yeah.
Yeah, and her hair is like pulled back into some kind of like barrette thingy.
Yeah, it's like a low pony.
Uh-huh. And like her bangs are kind of hanging forward. She just looks great here.
Now, the wedding planners don't get names for a while, but since they have lines in the scene, I will tell you about them. According to IMDb, the characters are named Marie and Craig. Marie is played by Tracy Castillo. Costello? Sure. She acted between 1995 and 2015, mostly doing single episodes of TV shows, and she has no picture on IMDb. Craig is played by D.C. Douglas. No idea what the D.C. stands for. He was born...
Da Capo?
No.
I would name a child that. And just have them go by DC and their full name is Da Capo.
You're crazy. I love you.
I know so many children named Melody. Why can't we use other... Like, Melody... I legitimately taught a kindergartner named Cadence. Her older sister was named Melody.
Hey, you know.
It was a very musical family. I had to ask if they had a sibling named Coda.
No, that was the dog, I'm sure.
Actually, I did know someone with a dog named Coda.
No.
Bulldog.
There you go. Anyway, he was born in 1966 in Berkeley, California. He's been acting since 1988, and he is still going strong.
And he looks like another actor who I'm having trouble remembering was in other things. Like, he looks a lot like another actor who's that guy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Which is funny, because it's... He's not even a, hey, guy we can't name. He's like, hey, guy who looks like guy we can't name.
Yep. I hit the table. I apologize. So his first role was on Al TV, which was a weird...
Oh my God!
Yeah, it was a weird show thing that starred Weird Al Yankovic, where he would, quote-unquote, hack into MTV whenever he had a new album coming out, basically. He took over MTV for like a couple of hours, doing like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 type thing on the music videos, and then like re-editing interviews with celebrities to make it seem like he was the one that was interviewing them.
Oh, that's great.
It was hilarious. It was wonderful. It was very, very 80s. It was lovely.
It seems like where the Daily Show would have gotten it from.
Maybe.
Or Colbert Report or something.
Yeah, maybe. It was so much fun. But I only bring this up because DC's character credit in the episode of Al TV that he was on was named Reginald Buttplug Fashion Designer. And I thought people had to know that.
Oh my God. I swear I've heard that name before, but never knew it was from that.
Yeah.
I've heard people use Reginald Buttplug.
Mm-hmm. Now, just because it's hilarious, I'm going to link to the very first episode of Al TV where you can watch some of his bits, but unfortunately, it's not the full episodes because, you know, copyright reasons, they can't have the actual music videos and all of this stuff, but you'll get to see how insane 1984 was. Mm-hmm. Now, this is, 4 years before DC was on this show, but it's great. And you get to see Weird Al with his really tight, like, short curl that he had back in the
Jerry
80s.
curl.
Yeah. Because now he's got the long hair curl thing going down. But back in the 80s,
Oh my
it
God.
was short.
Have you seen pictures of him as a child?
I have.
Oh, it's so adorable.
Oh, so
it's
cute.
so cute.
Yep.
Y'all, get into Weird Al. He's great.
He's lovely. Anyway.
Cross fingers that doesn't change in the
I
future.
know, right? Oh, jeez.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're not going to comment on. Anyway, what follows is one of the most awkward scenes we've had in a while.
More awkward than the Prue and Justin goodbye?
Uh-huh.
It
Yeah.
didn't feel more awkward than that.
It did for me.
But yeah.
It did for me.
Anyway, Piper is explaining to the wedding planners how she wants things to be quote-unquote as traditional as possible.
Yeah.
And
Like
she's
playing-
walking down the
like-
stairs.
Like playing the wedding march before she comes down the stairs. And then Marie asks about the flower girl.
And they realize that they don't know any children. Prue offhandedly, jokingly mentions, unless you want to ask Kate down the street,
Which is the little girl that we met in episode 303.
who we have not seen since.
Right. And to which Leo says that she could bring her fairy friends or some trolls with her.
And there's a very, very awkward laugh between Prue and Piper. And then Prue has to tell the wedding planners that their father's side of the family is very short.
It was so funny.
Yeah.
Just so funny.
But
And-
also,
and
Leo's
because
being kind of a dick.
he is being kind of a dick. I will admit he is being kind of a dick. But I thought it was very, very funny though, because he's like maybe she could invite some of her fairy friends, and my entire brain went, well, they do live in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our concert last night, people had submitted the songs that we were singing, and some of them were coming up to tell stories about why they chose this song. And we did the time warp, and for that one of our choir members came up and explained that when he was in middle school, the very mean nickname that they gave him was Gary the Fairy. And I'm like, you could totally reappropriate that now, and it would be adorable. Because, hey, it rhymes, and you could do it while wearing a fairy outfit.
There you go.
Like, take that shit back.
Darn tootin'.
We've done it with other things.
Darn tootin'.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Or you could dress up as a boat.
Yeah. Anyway, so the mention of the father's side of the family being very short seems to pacify the wedding planners.
They kind of just shrug it off.
Yeah, and Marie says that they should be able, they should at least put some flowers on the banister and carry the floral theme all the way to the altar.
And it's unclear where the altar is supposed to be at this point. She kind of motions into the
Living room, kind of toward the fireplace.
She motions into the sitting area towards the living room, kind of.
Yeah.
Who knows what the fuck is going on. But anyway, she asks how many guests they're thinking of having, a question that absolutely should have been discussed already before you hired the fucking wedding planners.
Yeah.
And Piper replies with 50 to 60. And Leo's like, the fuck who?
Yeah, where are all these people coming from? And then Piper mentions that she wants to invite everyone from P3, their friends, and Daryl, which I love how she doesn't include Daryl in their friends, I'm just saying, plus their dad and their mom.
And then Prue has to jump in and remind Piper that they can't really count their mom in the number. And
Which
Craig
Craig
has
is
the
like-
best response.
Yeah, he goes, well, you really do if she's going to eat. And Prue's like, yeah, no, she won't be eating.
And Marie remembers from some conversation they've had previously, oh yeah, didn't your mom die?
Yeah, what I thought
She
I thought your
passed
mother
on.
had passed on.
Oh god, I hate those.
I hate that
euphemisms.
phrase so much. Anyway, Piper then
No longer with us.
See,
Gone to a better place.
Yeah,
And
see,
I'm
I
just
don't.
like,
I don't mind the no longer with us. That one doesn't bother me nearly as much as
it's too
passed
beat around
on.
the bush.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I use the blunt ones for fun because I like that. At least, in my own life, I literally will tell people who ask about my mom,
Oh, you just said in my unlife. I was like, are you a vampire? Is this what you're telling me now?
no, you know how much I love garlic.
Yes, very true.
But no, in my own life, when people ask about my mom, I'm like, oh yeah, she did.
Yep.
And then I just leave it at that.
I think one of my absolute favorite things that I used to do was whenever somebody used to call, for my grandfather, and I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, he's dead. Like he's been dead for years.
Mm-hmm.
And someone would go, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and I would always reply, "Why? You didn't kill him,
Did you?
Which is just one of those where it's a horrible thing to say. Don't ever do that to somebody. But "Oh, I'm so sorry. Why? You didn't kill him."
Yeah.
Like, he died of natural causes. Everything is fine. He died because a heart valve decided it no longer wanted to be attached to his body. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, hey, at least that would have been painless.
Yeah, he was talking up until he died.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
Piper then amends her statement, saying that she meant that their mother would be there in spirit.
Literally.
And that makes Craig realize that, she really doesn't have to be counted. And he
He's
scribbles something
blunt.
out on his notepad. It was super funny. It was adorable.
Mm-hmm.
And then he asks what kind of hors d'oeuvres they want. Leo mentioned pigs in blankets, which are usually little sausages or hot dogs rolled up into croissants.
Mm-hmm.
But it's different from a sausage roll because it's usually like the hot dog is sticking out, where in a sausage roll the hot dog is inside completely.
Mm-hmm. And as
also,
with a corn dog.
Yeah, and also apparently in the UK, pigs in blanket is actually like a sausage rolled in bacon, which I think is better, if I'm being honest.
I think so too. Honestly, I would hybrid the two. I would have like a very thin strip of bacon just wrapped around the hot dog and then wrap it in the croissant.
Yeah, everything's better.
Or
with bacon.
possibly have like a strip of bacon that you cut in half lengthwise, or sorry, like across the middle. You bisect it, make it half as long, and then you put that on the crescent roll, because we usually use crescent rolls around here.
Yep.
And then you put the little tiny wiener sausages. What do they call those? Little weenies.
Yeah, little weenies.
Little weenies.
Yep.
And then roll it up so that it like layers in.
Yeah. Tiny little cocktail hot dogs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're so good.
Mm-hmm.
I can't eat
Not
them
my
anymore.
favorite. Not my favorite.
I can't eat them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I miss being able to eat beef.
Mm-hmm.
It's really
Yeah, but we
sad.
could try it with like chicken sausage or something.
Yeah, I've done.
I'm sure they make tiny chicken sausages.
Yeah, I think there's like little tiny turkey ones too.
Mhm.
The turkey ones are actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I digress. So Piper laughs at Leo's suggestion, saying she was hoping for something a little more elegant.
She doesn't so much say it as she snaps it at him.
Yeah.
And she like literally yells elegant at him.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Yeah. And then the phone rings. Prue goes to answer it as Piper pushes Leo into the wicker room to chat a moment.
And Marie says something about an ice sculpture.
Which is a wedding decor thing that was all the rage in the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Though
I remember
personally,
having one at prom.
Yeah, personally, I think a sculpture of a swan that's going to melt during the night is just a waste of money. But an ice luge can be pretty epic.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
Yeah, I went to a wedding. I had not planned this one. I went to a wedding where they had a vodka bar. Mind you, it was two Russians getting married, hence vodka bar. But they had an ice luge.
That's great.
Which basically is...
For the uninitiated, an ice luge is an ice sculpture that is designed to cool your drink as your drink passes through it.
Yeah, it basically, you put your cup at the end of the ramp, the ice ramp, and then they pour the alcohol down the ice so that by the time it gets to your cup, it's cold, but not diluted via ice.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
I always wonder how they make those, because I've seen, like, the chainsaw ice sculptures, but I've never seen, like, an ice luge sculpture. Like, do they just drill the hole through it? Is there, like, a flexible drill bit thing going on? I have no idea.
It depends. Sometimes they have molds
Fair.
where they just make them in that way, and then they can stick a hole in the thing. And sometimes they just carve it down. It depends.
Mm-hmm. I love the ones that go, like they have the colored drinks, and it's like kind of S swirling, like snaking down through the ice, or like spiraling. Those are fun.
Yeah. But like the most stereotypical ice sculpture at a wedding is a swan, because swans are like supposedly love, like symbolic of love or
well,
whatever.
because they're supposed to mate for life, which, yeah, sure, most waterfowl are mostly monogamous.
Yeah.
But it's not 100% thing.
Yeah.
Humans are less monogamous than swans, but swans are not solely monogamous.
Yeah.
Things you learn while watching, like, Blue Planet.
Hashtag not sponsored.
I know.
Anyway, cutting over to Piper and Leo. Piper wants to know why Leo is being the way he's being.
Leo thinks that this is just a disaster waiting to happen, and that they don't need wedding planners.
You just need us. Which is so true, Leo.
It is
so true. Piper says that he might not need the wedding planners, but she absolutely does, because she doesn't want to have to worry about the flowers showing up on time if she has to fight a demon the morning of the wedding.
And yes, she does have a point. However, you could just have your sisters plan the wedding.
Yeah. Leo says that he's more worried about the guests and, explaining everything to them, because a white lighter marrying a witch is hardly traditional. Piper realizes that, and then we cut over to Prue.
She's finishing up a phone call, and she tells Justin that she'll meet him, and then hangs up as Phoebe starts to, dash past.
Yeah. She's wearing black pants and a very large blue jacket that has an even larger blue hood that is covering her entire outfit.
Yeah, it's got one of those yoke buttons.
Mm-hmm.
With, the fake bit of horn or whatever as the...
Yeah. As the button-y bit. Yep. And she is wearing a knit cap in shades of blue, green, and yellow.
So it's cold outside.
Yeah. Prue greets her. Phoebe says she's late for school, and Prue asks if she wants a ride.
Phoebe is very confused, and she's like, wait, I thought Justin was picking you up for lunch. But Prue explains that, Justin's car broke down, and so she's going to meet him at the restaurant. And thinks they could use the time to, talk and put this whole Cole situation behind them. And Phoebe's face just goes blank, and she's like, okay, bye.
I gotta go. Yeah. And she leaves. She's very abrupt about it.
Mm-hmm.
Piper comes back in and asks Prue if she thinks that she's overdoing it with the wedding stuff, but Prue is preoccupied by the fact that Phoebe has left for school without any books. Piper asks why Prue isn't answering her question, and Prue's answer is everything.
Maybe because she doesn't want both of her sisters not speaking to her.
Yeah.
Which is technically a double negative.
Yeah.
And then she asks Piper for her lipstick back.
But Piper doesn't know what she's talking about, and Prue's like, yeah, it was my other sister.
Yeah.
I must have
mistaken you for another Piper. And I'm like, yeah, you actually did.
Yeah. Prue lets it drop, and then she heads out.
Mm-hmm.
And we get a day shot of the cemetery with the mausoleum in the background of the shot, but it's not the same shot that we've had before, and I don't even think it's the same mausoleum we've had before.
I think they've based it on the same thing, but maybe they just lost access to that set.
Yeah, I don't know.
So Phoebe walks into the mausoleum that is supposedly Cole's family mausoleum, i.e. the one they've been to a whole bunch before.
Yeah.
And calls out for him, and we kind of see the shot pan down to where you can see he is sitting on the other side of one of the biers. And,
yeah.
He's like, Phoebe?
Yeah. He comes out from behind the little crypty thing, and he walks over to her, and he's in all black again. But this time he's wearing a V-neck instead of a turtleneck. And he's got a jacket on.
Mm-hmm.
And Blue is now in the other room and barking. He says that he knew she'd know where to find him.
And she replies by punching him in the face.
Yeah. She's upset by him ruining her favorite movie as well as her life.
Great line, honestly.
Yeah. And he starts to say something, but she says she doesn't want to hear it, and that she's over him, and she wants nothing to do with him. He says he doesn't believe her, and she says that she'll vanquish him if she ever sees him again.
And he makes a comment about how distance hasn't made her heart grow fonder.
Yeah. She turns to leave, but he calls out, and she stops, and he asks her to hear him out, and she turns back around, because of course she does.
Mm-hmm. Cole says that he's been hiding by shimmering from realm to realm to keep the source from realizing that they didn't vanquish his sorry ass, and that she's the only one who knows he's alive.
She says that she couldn't keep lying to her sisters, so they know, and he says that's fine as long as she didn't tell Leo.
And then she looks away, and he's like, well, why didn't you just put an ad in the fucking paper?
Tell the whole world. Yeah.
She agrees. Maybe she should have.
And he says that he's risked his life and soul for her, and he's put himself into danger by coming back, but he wants to figure out how to make them work as a couple.
As a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she says that good and evil can't work together, and he's like, well, we did before.
She says she's learned from her mistakes, and he says that he has too.
Apparently, he can suppress his demonic half the same way he suppresses human half before meeting her. I'm like, that's... any therapist would tell you that neither is a good idea.
Yeah, so true. He reminds her that he can be good, and she knows it, and wants to know why they can't be together. She says it's too late, and she leaves.
Speaking of leaves, we pan through some as we hear some classical music playing over a sound system at this outdoor restaurant.
Yeah. We see Justin walking up to a random waiter and whispering something to him before going over to Prue, who's already sitting at a table. He's in black pants and a purplish gray V-neck shirt with a light gray jacket.
He apologizes about his car and then kisses her hand,
Much to her surprise.
And then sits down saying that he knows he should sell it, but he likes having something that's not so predictable in this day and age. And I'm going to add to that by saying, sorry about the dog barking. That's very non-predictable.
Yeah. I think it's been a long time since we've had Blue barking in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's pretty dim. Maybe they can't hear it much.
Maybe.
Much.
Well.
Oh well.
Yep. Anyway. She asks if he doesn't think of himself as predictable.
And then the waiter approaches them holding a bottle of Beringer Private Reserve wine.
Mm-hmm.
And he replies that he's hardly predictable.
Now, according to IMDb, the waiter is played by Jason Tomlins. He has no picture and only 11 acting credits between 1987 and 2001, with this episode of Charmed being his last.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Beringer
is a California vineyard. It was founded in 1876. It is the oldest continuously operating winery in Napa Valley.
It's listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Hey, I know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
And as a California historical landmark, and was the first California winery to offer public tours and wine tasting in 1934 after the repeal of Prohibition.
Yep. I will put links on the website, of course.
Mm-hmm.
We cut to the manor as Phoebe walks up the stairs.
To the front door.
Yep.
And we see Justin in the same outfit we just saw him in, plus jacket,
Yeah.
outside waiting on the porch.
She says hi to him and then asks why he's there.
And he's like, well, obviously, I'm here to pick up Prue for lunch. And then Phoebe just throws open the door and walks inside yelling for Piper.
Yeah, Justin follows her and asks if something is wrong, and Phoebe says that she's not sure, and so Piper comes into the foyer. And Phoebe asks where Prue is.
Piper says, oh, she's probably at the restaurant. And Phoebe's like, you mean...
meeting Justin there?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I told Prue that I'd pick her up.
And Phoebe confirms, oh, so you didn't call this morning to tell her your car broke down. He's like, no. And Piper and Phoebe exchanged that look.
Yeah, they exchange lovely looks, and it's just like, well, fuck. That's basically the look they've got going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, god damn it. We cut back to the restaurant, which I didn't mention earlier, but is apparently the same one that Prue went to for her date with Dick back in episode 222. Yep. The quote-unquote Justin pours some wine into Prue's glass, and she tries to stop him, citing that she has work that afternoon.
And he tells her that, oh, if her photographs are a little fuzzy, she can just call it avant-garde.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
No, it's not.
But
being drunk would probably make them off-center, not fuzzy.
well, you never know. If she's not using, a completely digital camera with autofocus, they could still be fuzzy.
No, I thought her thing was that she uses digital.
Well, yeah, but if she's not using an autofocus...
True.
Because not all digital cameras had to be used with autofocus.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Anyway, her cell phone rings, and she goes to answer it, but he stops her, asking, how important can it be?
And she agrees and turns her phone off.
Yeah. He then asks for a favor, saying that their kiss goodbye the night before wasn't that great.
And she kind of looks down, embarrassed, because,
Yeah, and asks for a do-over. And they lean over the table and kiss.
And then we get a shot of them now standing on a green screen as the surroundings blur and shift into Dantalian's lair.
Yeah. As they end
I keep wanting to call her D'Artagnan.
We can just call her the priestess.
I want to call her D'Artagnan.
Priestess D.
Darktanian. I knew there was a pun in there somewhere.
There you go.
So anyway, we're now in Darktanion's lair. At the end of the kiss, she questions where she is and why she can't move. He apologizes and then shifts back into Zyle.
Yeah. The
D'Artagnan.
priestess. Yep.
D'Artagnan walks on over.
I'm going to let you have that one.
Yeah.
I like it. She walks over saying that it's true. Every bride is beautiful on her wedding day.
And we cut to commercial.
Yeah. When we come back from commercial, we are in the dining room at the manor. Phoebe is at the table, scrying for Prue, which brings our scrying total up to 3 for the season and 5 for the series.
For scrying out loud.
Jesus Christ.
I'm surprised I haven't hit on that one before.
You might have.
I don't think I did.
think you did, though. But
I don't think I did.
Yeah.
And I have a better memory than you.
Yeah.
Piper comes
Anyway.
in carrying the Book of Shadows, and we can now see that the shirt Phoebe is wearing is a long sleeve, deep V crop top knitted with open weave lines in an off-white.
Uh-huh.
And it's like open at the wrist.
Yeah, and at the there's a slight, tiny little bell sleeve at the wrist that's a complete open weave, and there's like little blue and green like knitted flowers as trim that ties all together with a little black bow toward the bottom, and there's black bows at the top of the open weaving on the wrists, and there's like a little peak of a black bra underneath. Like, it was a weird top, but it wasn't horrible.
It wasn't horrible. It
And
was very
it's-
nice, and it looks like it laces together at the front.
Yeah, it laces in. It's like held together with like a black ribbon.
Yeah.
That
Kind
just
of like
laces.
corset lacing.
Yeah, kind of corset lacing. It's one of those shirts where, like, you'd think it would be a mess when you try and describe it,
Yeah.
but it didn't look bad.
No.
Like, it would have been better had it not had the knitted flowers,
I honestly liked those.
but I didn't mind them.
Mm-hmm.
They were just another piece of the shirt, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, Piper asks if Phoebe has found Prue, but she has not. And Piper thinks that they're screwed, but Phoebe's like, no, not yet. And
As
then
Leo
orbs
orbs
in. She asks if he found anything, which he has not. So now Phoebe thinks that they're screwed.
Yeah. Leo says that the elders support their shape-shifting warlock theory, which, of course, why wouldn't you immediately jump to that conclusion? It makes sense for them.
Yep.
And all that he really knows is that she can't be dead because not even evil interfering could stop them from sensing that.
Which is good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Phoebe asks what they're up against, and Leo reminds them that as their powers grew, so would the evils against them.
And that they need to figure out why a warlock wants Prue alive.
Yeah.
Phoebe says, it can't be because of our powers, because they just kill her to get those.
But Leo says that it could be an upper-level warlock, which makes them realize that he could be after all of their powers.
Mm-hmm.
Because duh. Leo then says that it's too bad they killed the demonic bounty hunter, which is a callback to Krell from episode 308. And Phoebe gets an idea. She says she has a hunch, asks them to wait for her, and then she leaves the room, and we get a last shot of Piper and Leo looking confused and concerned.
And we cut over to D'Artagnan, Zyle, and Prue.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very interesting phrase, actually. D'Artagnan, Zyle, and Prue. The Lion, the
It's
Witch, and
my-
the Wardrobe.
Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young cover it?
Yeah.
There you go. Prue is dressed in a black bra, so they gave her a complete new outfit. She's now in a black bra, covered by a sheer black top.
It looks like it wraps around to the back and ties there.
Yeah, it's like a crepe material, see-through.
Or a mesh or something.
Yeah.
And
A black skirt that has a slit that's almost all the way up to her hip, and a sheer panel over the skirt, so that the slit on the panel doesn't go quite as high.
Interesting.
And when she stands up, we can see that there's actually a slit on the other side as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting outfit, and it's one of those where, like, I understand that they changed her outfit for a reason.
Yeah, because Evil got to wear black.
Right, because Evil
And
has
as
to
it
be wearing
turns
black,
out, a lot of eyeshadow.
Yeah. But it's just one of those where, like...
You dress for the job you want, not the job you have. And in some cases, that means Jesus, and in other cases, that means a sheer black crop top.
Mm-hmm. My question is, did they use some sort of spell to change her clothes, or did they actually get her naked and put her in these new clothes?
They're warlocks. They probably just waved a hand.
I hope so.
Yeah, because that's otherwise a little violating.
Yeah,
Although it is
titch.
fun to think about Zyle just like standing there with a makeup brush, like doing her eyeshadow.
Yeah.
How he managed to do her mascara, I'll never know.
Well, when they're not fighting you.
It's literally a hand wavy moment.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway. So they have her lying down on this altar.
And then D'Artagnan covers Prue's face with a pretty thick black veil.
Yeah. She puts her hands over Zyle and Prue's heads, and she starts the ritual, and about halfway through, she ties their hands together with a large black rope that she's put a drop of potion on.
When it's over, Zyle, who is very awkwardly, leaning over this altar, Because, like, Prue's kind of on one side, and he's just leaning over the expanse of it to put his hand next to her or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he asks how long it will take for the transformation to be complete. And D'Artagnan's like, oh, it'll be done by sundown. Can you wait that long?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, fuck yeah.
Like, I can wait a couple hours, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She says that she wants to be the first to congratulate him, and then she kisses him, and he's affected by the same potion that Prue had been affected by earlier.
I'm just like, dude, you're evil. You should have seen this coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
Like, literally. He questions why. She says that she's tired of bestowing great power on others, and that the Halliwell Book of Shadows is the key to unbelievable power for her, and that once the sisters are evil, the book will be too, and it will be hers, and she will be unstoppable.
And then she kind of just, like, shoves him over, and she's like, I'm gonna enjoy killing you all.
Yeah, so now he's laying down next to Prue. Because of course he is.
Mm-hmm.
We fade into an exterior shot of the mausoleum door.
Phoebe runs in, calling for Cole. She's back in that blue jacket again.
Yeah, but now it's left open, and so the shoulders look insanely huge because of the way that the hood is laying with the jacket being open. But it, like, gave her gladiator shoulders. It was really funny.
It was good. Cole shimmers on in, and she tells him that she needs his help, but
he
he won't get anything out of it.
Yeah, it's not going to change anything between us.
And, like, he stops for a moment, and you can tell he's thinking about objecting, but then he's like, I'm listening.
Yeah. She tells him that Prue has been taken by a shape-shifting warlock, and that no one on their side has a clue where he's hiding her.
Because he's blocking it somehow. And Cole's like, oh, honey, they don't have that kind of power. He must be working with someone else.
Like a demonic judge, or a dark priest, or any other dignitary that needs privacy for rituals. Let that sink in. Just a second.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Phoebe asks why, and Cole says that it could be anything, but they probably want the Book of Shadows, because even he wanted the Book of Shadows at first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she asks if he can find out who wants it now, and he's like, yeah, I'll check, but I'll be risking demons finding out I'm still alive.
Yeah.
And she's like, well,
I want my sister back.
Yeah.
And he's like, are you sure, if the cost doesn't matter? And she just kind of repeats, I want my sister back.
Like, fuck you, you're here, I'm telling you what I need, and I'm expecting you to do it.
Yeah. He, like, stands closer to her, and we get this moment of contrived tension.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I'm doing this for you. And she turns to leave, but then turns back around and kisses him passionately.
For all of, like, 2 seconds.
Yeah, which confuses the hell out of them both.
And really just smears the crap out of her lipstick.
Yeah, it really
which
does.
I thought was a nice touch.
Yeah. He's like, if you don't hear back from me, I got caught. And then he shimmers out.
Yeah.
And it was one of those
there was
moments
a great awkward moment right there where they're just like, what?
Yeah, they're just kind of staring at each other like, I don't know why I kissed you, but I can't.
And they're both clearly a little hot and bothered.
Yeah. Yeah, this is not... Nope, I'll leave my opinions out for the moment.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, we cut to the manor. Piper is sitting on the couch in the living room, flipping through the Book of Shadows, looking very confused.
Leo sits down beside her, also confused, because she said before that there was nothing in the book, and Piper says that there's now, quote, a whole bunch of weirdness in it.
And she shows him some pages made out of a clearly darker material than the original pages of the book.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of shit like To Kill a Female Warlock and Hemlock Killing Spell. And he's like, that doesn't belong there.
Yeah.
But she kind of stopped and she's like, well, it
does have possibilities.
And she literally, like, touches her chin.
Yeah, and they're both like, wait, why did I say that? It's just kind of like a funny moment where they're both confused about that. And then Piper blinks out of the living room and into the kitchen.
And when she blinks out, she's sitting. And then she blinks into the kitchen, she's standing, she does this kind of like wobble thing, like, the fuck?
Yeah. Leo calls out to her, and she yells back at him from the kitchen. She's like, I'm in here for some reason.
Somehow?
Yeah. He walks into the kitchen carrying the Book of Shadows and telling her that she blinked, but she's like, no, only warlocks do that.
And at this point, Phoebe walks in the back door.
Yeah, and Piper asks where she's been. Phoebe says that she's been brainstorming, and she removes her hat and jacket, and she asks how things have been going with them.
Leo tells her that Piper is blinking.
Yeah, which Phoebe is concerned about for a second, and then Piper's like, it was weird, but fun. That she was in the living room and thinking about the kitchen, and then she was in the kitchen.
And Phoebe's like, oh my god, that's so cool.
And Leo reminds her that it's a warlock power.
But Phoebe's like, hey, they're always trying to get some of the Charmed One's powers, so it's about time we got some of theirs.
Yep.
Which, honestly, I thought was good reasoning.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. Piper tells her to try it, and that the way to do it being think and blink, which I thought was kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then Phoebe blinks out of the kitchen, and then so does Piper. And we kind of left with Leo looking like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we cut over to the Wicker Room as they both blink in, and Piper yells out,
Catch us if you can!
And I was kind of hoping they would keep this up and, like, just blink to different parts of the house, but no,
But
we don't
no.
have time for that.
Nope.
We spent
Leo-
too much on exposition.
Yeah.
Leo walks in.
And Phoebe asks if he's tried it, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like, have you tried blinking? Yeah, no,
Like,
that's
if
not...
we can do it, you could do it, right?
Yeah, that's not how that works.
No, sweetie.
He asks if they know how serious this is with them blinking and the book changing, and Piper says that they might be blinking because the book is changing. But
And she's
he's like,
starting
no.
to, like, affect this, not persona, like... She's starting to adopt a completely different personality a little bit.
Yeah, she's a
And
little
I'm-
more, like, I don't want to say confident, because that's not really the
Fun
right
loving.
word. Yeah, less, let's see, stuck up
She's
isn't
a
the right
little,
word either.
she's acting a little more immature
Yeah.
and like happy-go-lucky.
Yeah, she's acting a little more consequences don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Leo tells them that the book is an extension of them, so it's changing because they're changing. Piper says that she should care about that, but she doesn't, and then she and Phoebe walk out of the room.
Leo follows, saying he's afraid that whatever has gotten Prue has also gotten to them. And Phoebe's like, no, I'm liking the whole think it and it happens thing.
Piper agrees with her, and Leo tells them to fight it.
And then the doorbell rings, and Piper goes to answer it.
Leo asks them to stop for Prue's sake, and Piper is all, don't tell me what to do. And Leo asks Phoebe for help, and she says she's tired of helping people. And then Piper opens the door to the wedding planners. Now, this little moment of Piper with the whole, I should care but I don't, and the I'm tired of helping people, I've seen that in gift sets too, but I didn't realize it was in this episode until...
I remember these outfits specifically from this next scene. So Marie swans in, mentioning floral sketches. Leo tells her it's not a good time, but Piper is like, dude, they're welcome.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Craig says something about having fixed the dinner menu, and Piper stops him and goes, I want pigs in blankets.
Which is a lovely callback to the beginning of the episode, in case you weren't paying attention.
And the planners stop for a moment and then laugh
Yeah.
to each other.
And Marie is like, it's nice that you have a sense of humor so close to the wedding.
But Piper's like, no.
I want pigs
in blankets. And then she waves her hands like she's trying to freeze him. And Craig turns in to a pig wearing a blanket.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's a female pig.
It's a female pig wearing a red plaid blanket.
Yeah, like a tiny, tiny horse blanket.
Yeah, which made me laugh because Leo was wearing red plaid.
Yeah.
And she put the pig in a red plaid blanket.
Mm-hmm.
It was like Leo wanted pigs in blankets. I want pigs in blankets.
Mm-hmm.
Here.
Yeah,
be
it was
pig
also
in
like
blanket.
a juvenile pig. It was really small.
Yeah. It was like a little adorable potbelly pig.
No, not a pot belly.
No, not
No. A pot belly that size would have been an adult, and it would have looked a lot more pot bellied.
Yes.
This was probably like a juvenile
like a
farm pig.
Yeah, it was a farm pig.
Because those shits get to like 700-800 pounds.
Yeah. It
But
was.
they're the stereotypical like pink ones.
Yes. It was a babe.
If you
was a babe pig.
if you recall back to season 2, that Valentine's Day episode where the girls transformed the animals, that pig was a lot smaller. That was a baby.
Yes.
That was like probably, I don't know like how fast they grow up, but like a couple of months old. That was a baby. It was very cute. But yeah, pigs get big. Don't follow the hype about like mini micro pigs and shit.
Yes, and let me tell you,
No pig is like, you shouldn't have a full grown pig that's less than 100 pounds.
yeah, and let me tell you, if somebody tries to sell you a teacup pig, saying that
Nope.
it'll only get to be like a foot tall or whatever, they're fucking lying to you.
Yeah.
They are lying.
Mm-hmm.
If a pig only gets to be that tall,
It's
it is
malnourished.
maldeformed. Yeah, it is malnourished. It is having
It's
bad
malnourished. It has some kind of growth defect, probably, or they have sold you a bill of goods by taking a photo of a juvenile and said that's an adult. Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway,
Although I do love all the videos of the baby piggies.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
and I do have to say that tiny pigs in teacups is adorable.
Mm-hmm.
But I like tiny pigs in rain boots better.
Mm.
It's just too cute.
I love full grown pigs that act like dogs
Mm.
because they're very smart. They're so smart.
Anyway, so Craig turns into a pig wearing a blanket. Marie screams. Phoebe laughs and says, She seems scared. And Piper says that she always thought Marie was an ice queen, and then covers Marie in ice.
She jokes and, like, jams an elbow back into Leo's chest because he's standing right behind her. She calls it freezing power with a kick.
Yeah. And Leo asks if they've lost their minds.
Phoebe tells Leo that he should get on board with the freedom of the power, and he's like, that's evil talking, and she
Yeah.
needs to fight it.
Yeah. Phoebe asks Piper what she sees in him.
Piper calls him a stick in the mud, and as Leo's, like, going on his diatribe, Phoebe is like, hey, that's a good idea, and then turns him into a long bamboo stick in a small bucket of mud.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because she kind of looks at Piper and is like, that's a good idea. And she goes, may I? And Piper's like, be my guest, which I just thought was really funny.
Be my guest.
Yeah, no. But it was like,
Put your powers
yes,
to the test.
I had fun with the wedding planners. Go ahead, turn my fiance into a bucket of mud.
Yep.
Yeah.
They walk out toward the kitchen, and Piper's like, oh, this is just the beginning of our fun.
Yeah.
And then we cut back to the altar where D'Artagnan uncovers Prue's face, and we get to see her lovely, lovely makeup,
Yeah.
which includes a nice dark lip.
Yeah. And she says, this is just the beginning. And then we go to commercial break.
Mm-hmm. Back
So
at the manor, Piper and Phoebe walk into the foyer where the pig is licking the ice-covered Marie.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. Phoebe is holding a butcher's knife, and they crouch down beside the pig, and she's getting...
That's not a butcher's knife.
Yeah,
It's a chopper.
It was a butcher's knife.
It's a cleaver. That's what it is.
Which
A
is
butcher's no. Butcher's knife is the triangular one. I worked for a knife company for a few weeks. They were labeled very meticulously. The butcher knife has the pointy end. The meat cleaver is what she was holding.
Yes.
I know this specifically
Yes,
also
okay.
because I've seen a cheese cleaver, which is a miniaturized version, and it was fucking adorable.
Yes, I used to own one.
But yeah, that's that like vaguely square one that has a little bit of curve and it has the hole on the one end, in the one corner.
Yeah. Okay. So she's holding a meat cleaver.
Mm-hmm.
And they crouch down beside the pig.
And Phoebe like pulls back, getting ready to kill the pig.
And then offers the first kill to Piper, since it's her wedding. Piper thinks that this is boring and that and she wants to do something bigger, and so she drops the knife to the ground. And they stand up and they realize that they need to find Prue because the power of 3 with these powers would be truly amazing.
Oh yeah. And Piper says, oh, but we need to clean house first. So she changes the pig back into Craig and then unfreezes Marie, literally.
And he actually seems mostly fine.
Yeah,
he just kind of comes back and he goes, where was I?
Yeah.
In that, like not the where was I, like, in a physical space, but
Yeah.
where was I in the sentence I was saying?
Uh-huh. Yeah, because obviously he didn't see himself transform. He was just suddenly a pig and suddenly not.
Yeah.
And Marie also seems strangely okay. Like, they're both willing to forgive the cognitive dissonance of what just happened.
Yeah.
And then they ask what's going on.
And Piper yells that they're fired. Phoebe uses telekinesis to open both the front doors, and then the planners get flung outside.
And Marie loses her binder.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. And then Phoebe closes the doors.
Piper and Phoebe turn around, seeing said stick in mud, and decide to have a bit of fun with him.
Piper changes the bucket back into Leo, who asks what happened to Craig and Marie, which is the first time that we've gotten their names.
Yeah, Piper says that they flew right out. We scared them.
Yeah, they flew right out of the house. Phoebe says that they need to find Prue. Leo tells her to focus on that, to resist the evil.
And she says the only thing they're resisting is the desire to rip him to pieces and have him for lunch.
Yeah. Piper says that if he helps them find Prue, they'll leave him alone for now. The elders call Leo. Piper tells him to ignore them because they don't know anything.
And he says they're revoking his assignment.
Piper gets upset by that, saying that he did nothing wrong.
And he's like...
Yet.
Yeah. And he's like, well, that's because it was your fault.
Yeah.
You gave in to evil, which means you've relinquished your right to a white lighter.
Yeah. He then orbs out, and Piper says that they're free, and they no longer have to obey the rules, and that it's time to find Prue.
Phoebe heads upstairs.
Piper, I love this moment. Piper questions her, and she goes, I can't wreak havoc dressed like this. And then Piper kind of checks her own clothes, like, you might be right.
Yep.
It was great.
Yeah, they're dressed in something that makes a nice counterpoint to how evil they're being.
Yes.
Because they're wearing this, like, ribbony, frilly, like, flowery shit.
Yeah, they're wearing very, very
and Prue is very
pretty.
Prue is very much dressed to look evil.
Yeah.
She's dressed to kill.
There you go. We cut upstairs. Phoebe walks into her room and she starts to untie her shirt. And this is where we can tell that it's kind of laced up like a corset.
Cole comes in from out of frame and shuts the door behind her, which causes Phoebe to turn around.
And we learn that he was only spotted by one demon, and he's not proud of it, but he killed that demon.
And Phoebe's like, oh, you should be proud of it, and kisses him.
Yeah. He breaks from the kiss and says that Prue is in some serious trouble as she's been forced to marry a warlock.
And Phoebe has a great line. Figures that bitch would steal Piper's thunder.
Yeah, it made me laugh. It was great. And then she continues untying her top.
He tells her about Darktalion and says that they're all turning evil.
Yeah. She asks if that's not the way that he wants her and kisses him passionately.
He breaks from the kiss again, says no, and he's like, oh, the only chance for us is if we're both good.
Yeah.
Because there's no such thing as evil love.
Yeah. Which didn't...
And then he has to go and add the comment of, just lust.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's not going to help your situation, boy.
No, not so much. But didn't we have somebody tell Phoebe that evil can love? Wasn't that... I'm trying to remember.
Was it that Darklighter?
It was the Darklighter
in season 1?
Yeah, with the blonde chick from the 70s show.
Mm-hmm. I mean...
Like, they can love, it just becomes obsession.
Which is not really love.
Right, but...
So, technically, both... Well, no, technically wrong. Yeah, there is no such thing as evil love, because love is selfless, and... You know, there's the what's the Bible passage, like, love is patient, love is kind, all that shit?
I don't know.
Yeah, all that nonsense.
I don't know, there's a song with that in there, I'm sure.
Oh, there's tons of them.
Yeah. But yeah, that was where my brain went, was like, wasn't there a thing where we learned that evil can love, it just becomes obsession? Like,
I mean, technically that was evil saying that, and evil lies.
True. Very true.
Mm-hmm.
But just keep that in mind, that... For
yeah.
Anyway,
she says that his human half is kind of preachy, and she wants Balthazar back.
When he says that Balthazar isn't coming back,
she knees him in the stomach and kicks him over and over, yelling at him.
Yeah, until he turns into Balthazar. And as she kicks him, we can see that her shirt has completely untied itself, and she's wearing a lacy black and white bra that was actually really cute.
It was, and honestly, it almost looked like two bras on top of each other.
No,
no. I understand, because like the base of the bra is like the black lace, and then like at the tops there's like this white stuff.
No, it's a white lace bra with a black overlay.
Okay, it looked black to me like that, but I wasn't paying that much attention.
Yeah, because there's a bit of white lace at the top that isn't covered by the overlay.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I've owned a bra like that.
Oh, okay.
So it's a white lace bra with a black overlay.
Okay. Well, it just makes the rest of the bra look black.
Yeah.
To me, so
yeah, but it was a super cute bra, and I owned a bra that wasn't like that. It was a hot pink bra with a black overlay, which is the only pink I like is hot pink. Hot pink and brown is actually a really good combo. Like hot pink and black is totally
much
acceptable.
Like Prue's outfit during boot camp.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hot pink and green actually doesn't look too bad either.
Yeah, nice little olive drab.
Which we learned from Popular. from Wicked. Pink and green goes good together. Anyway.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
They make a great couple.
Yes. Seeing Balthazar makes Phoebe very happy.
And then Piper knocks on the door and asks what's going on in there.
Yeah. Balthazar says that Dentalion is coming for the book, and that they'd better be ready, and then he shimmers out just as Piper walks in, much to Phoebe's annoyance.
Piper says she heard voices, and Phoebe blows it off by saying that she had a premonition
that must have gotten loud. She says that the high priestess that has Prue is coming to them, and then she walks out of the room.
Piper is very confused, and she's like, that must have been one hell of a premonition.
Yeah. We cut to the altar where our priestess is chanting over Xyle and Prue. Then we cut
they're
back.
Both now like in full repose.
Yeah. We cut back to the attic as the triquetra on the Book of Shadow glows red.
And we cut back to the altar where Darktalion is very pleased with herself, and we get one last shot of Prue on the altar as she like pulls her veil back.
Yeah. We cut back to the attic as she appears up through the floor. And she picks up the Book of Shadows because now the book is evil enough that she can take it.
Mm-hmm. There's the great hesitation moment where she's like not entirely sure, but once she lays her hands on it, she's like, big sigh, and she picks it up and walks back around the stand, and she's like, this was too easy.
Yeah, Piper walks out from her hiding spot as Phoebe, whose shirt is now completely tied back up, and she's holding a wavy dagger, which I think is very funny that this whole thing of like, oh, we have this person coming, we were going to change clothes, but now we can't. You know, she kicks Dentalion from behind, and she falls to the floor, and she's
like up against this like bureau.
Yeah, like she winds up. She doesn't break any furniture, but she winds up like laying against some furniture. Mm-hmm. Piper and Phoebe walk over to her and they ask where Prue is.
D'Artagnan says she can help teach them evil, but of course she's stalling.
Yeah,
she's like, you're new at it. You don't know your full potential. And Piper's like, bitch, we're quick studies.
Yeah, like I think we're getting the hang of it. And Phoebe, like, holds the dagger closer.
She's like, want to see?
Yeah.
Yeah, D'Artagnan says they'll never see Prue again if they kill her. And Piper's like, oh, we'll just torture you instead.
Yeah.
And she, like, stands on the woman's arm.
And turns her hand into ice.
Just her hand, though.
Just her hand, which makes our little priestess scream her head off because that fucking hurts, I'm sure.
Yeah, and then she kind of looks around and then picks up a candlestick that was on, like, the top of a thing.
And Piper takes this candlestick and just smashes her hand into bitty pieces.
And the woman screams again, which I'm like, but your nerves are frozen. How would you feel that?
You know?
It's more for effect.
Yeah.
And Phoebe's face at this point is great because she's like, that was shrill.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, okay, could you not make that noise? You're making my head hurt.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, they're describing how they're going to torture her again until she tells them where Prue is.
Yeah, basically freezing and breaking her body piece by piece until they get to her head. Mm-hmm. Which, once you get past the torso, she's not going to be alive enough to answer you, but all right. They ask her again where Prue is, and then Leo orbs in, and the girls turn to him, and our priestess uses that distraction to grab the Book of Shadows and disappear.
Yeah, Phoebe very annoyedly tells Leo that he just helped her escape. Piper turns him to ice, hands, or like,
she just
and then just like, oh, she's just got her like arm up, and she just like turns to Phoebe and she's like, smash him.
Yeah,
and so and then Phoebe like hands her the dagger, and then like does a roundhouse.
Yeah, she like kicks Leo and smashes him into a million little bitty pieces.
Million little cubed bloody pieces.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Piper walks over top of him while calling him a bastard. And then we go to commercial break.
Yeah, it was hard to watch.
It was harsh.
Yeah. It was kind of hard. It was hard to watch.
Like, honestly, I've been that mad.
Yeah.
I can't freeze people and turn them into chunky ice bits.
Well, technically, if you had some liquid nitrogen. We're not going to go there. Anyway.
No. That's a controlled substance. You couldn't get that much of it. Isn't it?
I don't know.
Either way, I don't know where to get that much of it.
Yeah.
I could, if prompted, manage to get enough to freeze a banana and then use it to hammer in a nail, because I saw that done once. But any more than that would probably just be too difficult and pricey.
Anyway. We come back from the commercial break, back at the altar, as our priestess is frantically flipping through the Book of Shadows.
One-handed.
Yeah. And she's covered her stump with a bit of cloth that's like bleeding through. And we get a moment.
It honestly, it looks kind of like if you cut off the fish head and like remove the guts, and then you see the two fillets and there's like the space in the middle. That's what it looked like to me.
Okay. I will take your word for that. But we get this moment of her where we see the hand that's covered, the missing hand that's covered with this bit of fabric, and her other hand, and I'm going, really? They couldn't have made that any like shorter? They couldn't have because you can tell it's just her hand in a paw in a fist being covered inside the thing. It was just.
Well, it's also dark down there. I think the original dimensions and picture quality would have made that look a little more realistic.
Maybe. Anyway.
Or at least obscured a bit more. But anyway, she's pissed off and muttering to herself about how death isn't good enough for her bride.
Yeah, and then she finds a page in the Book of Shadows on the Dark Priestess, which she then seems to, like, threaten Prue with.
Yeah, we
She's
don't
like,
really get a good look at the text.
Welcome to my hell.
We don't really get a good look at the text on this thing.
Yeah, it was basically a how to vanquish a Dark Priestess.
Yeah.
Which, why would she be threatening Prue with the spell that could kill herself? It was weird. Know. I didn't get it.
At first I thought, oh, she's threatening to turn her into a Dark Priestess. And I'm just like, why is that? Why is that a threat? What?
Yeah, exactly. It was a little bit odd in that we're not sure exactly what was being threatened, but she was threatening Prue with the "Welcome to my hell" line. Mm-hmm. So the only thing that I think would possibly make sense is somehow she was threatening to turn Prue into a Dark Priestess and then vanquish her.
Es posible.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, we cut back to the manor as Piper and Phoebe are walking down the stairs.
Piper is wondering how they're going to find Prue without the book.
Phoebe wonders why she's not mourning Leo.
And Piper says that if the priestess kills Prue, that she'll take the evil power of 3 along with her, and they won't stand a chance.
Phoebe remembers, oh hey, we're warlocks now. We should be able to blink wherever we want.
And that, Leo's orbing worked much the same way. They just think it and go.
They just need to think of Prue and blink to her.
Piper says that Leo's power was jammed, and Phoebe reminds her that that's because he was good and they're evil.
Hey.
Yeah. So we cut to the altar as our dark priestess is saying the spell to kill a female warlock.
Weird.
That we were shown earlier with the hemlock spell.
Mm-hmm. Piper and Phoebe blink in and do that little wobble. And then they see Prue. And D'Artagnan says, they're too late. She's got the book.
Yeah. Phoebe says that it takes a while to learn how to use the book.
Trust us.
Yeah. And then Piper threatens to freeze and shatter her head.
And then D'Artagnan switches train tracks and starts chanting again.
She says that while she's not powerful enough to fight them, that Zyle and Prue are.
So they wake up and get off the altar. And then Phoebe immediately is like, damn, Prue, I love that outfit.
Yeah, it was great. She's like, that dress is great.
And like Piper kind of agrees with her.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. And then our dark priestess tells Zyle and Prue to eliminate them.
Piper tries to get Prue to ignore the priestess, reminding her that they're sisters. And
Prue says...
This feels a little more like when they were good.
Yeah, this is a little bit weird, too, because then Prue kind of stops and goes, I'm his wife, not your sister.
I'm like, you're both.
Yeah. And then she lifts her arms, and her power seems to be even more powerful now, as she makes them go flying into pillars and rocks.
And she also seems to be able to use it on them, which is a weird complication.
Yeah.
From previous.
Yeah.
And makes me think, okay, Piper, why didn't you just freeze her? Because then she'd be frozen. You could freeze the both of them, because now your powers work on your sisters.
Right, but I don't think Piper, as a warlock, has the power to freeze without putting them in ice.
Yes, but we saw she unfroze Marie, and Marie was fine.
Right.
So all she'd have to do is freeze them, shatter Zyle, Prue would be fine, and then freeze the priestess, because now they're both out of commission. But the writers can't have things be that easy.
Nope, of course not. Anyway.
Or Phoebe, that logical.
Yeah. Phoebe says that they have to figure out how to get Prue onto their side, and Piper says that they need to get her a divorce. And then Zyle shapeshifts into Prue. And
they both blink out and reappear in different places, and D'Artagnan says that they don't want to shatter the wrong sister. I love the look that Zyle and Prue share when they're both as Prue.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, oh, hey, that's hot.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. And then the Prue on the right says, I love you, to the other, who responds, you too, which Piper calls Planet Narcissus.
Yeah, Narcissism.
Yeah, which just made me laugh. It is a reference to the Greek mythological character who was known for his beauty and was so proud of his beauty that he disdained those who loved him. Because, of course. So when the Greek goddess Nemesis, yep. That's who that was, saw this, she attracted him to a pool where he saw his own reflection and fell in love with the image, and then, unwilling to leave the beauty that was his reflection, lost the will to live and stared at his reflection until he died.
And I think his story is also tied in with Echo.
That I don't know. But his story is where we get the term narcissism, which is a fixation with oneself and one's physical appearance or public perception. And there's also a plant with the name Narcissus that is frequently linked with this myth, but there's actually no evidence that the flower was named for him. But
It's just pretty.
But the most interesting thing about the plant is that the bulb of it has been used in the production of galantamine.
Galantamine.
Sure. Which is used in the treatment of Alzheimer's. Which I just thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we have this plant that may or may not be named after the dude who could do nothing but look at his own reflection and love himself. And the bulb of the plant is used to treat people who can no longer remember things.
Mm-hmm. My favorite portrayal of him is in the Disney movie Hercules, because it's just him holding a hand mirror making kissy faces, and it's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Just like little throwaway thing.
Anyway, I'll link to everything, of course, because why wouldn't I?
Phoebe remembered that Cole said that evil can't love, and realizes that the Prue on the left didn't say, I love you too. And I'm like, this kind of conflicts with previously established Prue who has trouble saying I love you.
Yes.
And this is too convenient.
It's a little bit convenient.
No, it's too convenient. Now, if they had gone the route of, hey, that one didn't say I love you too, Prue doesn't like to say that must be Prue.
No, because
I would have liked that better than the evil can't love, oh my god, like, saying it doesn't mean you feel it.
I will admit, though, that this entire thing of the I love you too being the way that they realize that, evil can't love because
it's too convenient.
Whatever. Yeah, they should have done it in a different way. Mm-hmm. But
they didn't have time.
No, they really didn't, because we're coming to the end of the episode.
Stupid exposition.
Yeah. But I think part of it, for me, I enjoy the fact that they had the real Prue say, I love you, because she has been able to say it. They made it part of her character that she was able to say it now.
I don't personally like it as, like, character growth because she's evil.
But I think that's part of it, though, is that it's the showing that while she's evil, she still has the ability to be good.
I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like petting a cat backwards. Although I have met cats that really like that.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Yeah, Phoebe remembers that Cole says that evil can't love, and she realizes the Prue on the left didn't say I love you too, it just said you too, and then our priestess makes a wavy dagger appear in each Prue's hand.
And as they're advancing towards Piper and Phoebe, like at Michael Myers speeds.
Yeah, super slow.
Phoebe points to the Prue on the left and tells Piper, that's the warlock, freeze her.
Piper turns the left Prue into ice, and then Phoebe tells Piper to shatter her.
And as we hear the priestess yell out like a no!
Zyle! Piper kicks the frozen Prue, and the spell is broken. Prue comes out of her stupor, dropping the dagger, and asks what's going on, and they realize that they're back, and back to being good.
Because now, Prue is no longer married to a warlock, which makes her not evil, which makes them not evil.
Instantly. That's where I had the issue with it.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't have to do it then. They could have done it after the priestess was dead.
Yeah.
Because she's the one who did the spell.
Exactly.
Technically, it's her binding that makes it happen. Because Prue's technically still married. She's just now a widow.
Well, there is
that. A widow
that.
dressed in black.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Piper freezes our priestess as she tries to run away, and then they see that the book is back to being good again, too.
Yay! And Prue's like, we should do something good with it.
And they walk over to the book and they find the spell that our priestess had seen earlier, which, gives them the vanquishing spell for a dark priestess, which part of me is going...
Apparently that was in the good side of the book.
Yeah, apparently.
Which means the book wasn't fully evil either.
Yeah. There are so many little, moments in this where you're just like, I understand it's a lot of a la convenience things, but this episode is very weirdly done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, they chant the spell, which is powers of light, magic of right, cast this blight into forever's night.
And that makes me think, hey, that's even less sense for D'Artagnan to be using because she doesn't have any powers of light. She couldn't use that spell if she turned Prue into a Dark Priestess. Why the fuck were they showing that page other than for this?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is we were shown this page.
There's too much. We have to do this so it will then later be useful in the resolution of everything. Like, they couldn't outright kill hubby because that had to be the way they turned good, so they had to fight him. They couldn't, like, I don't know, just use the power of 3 spell because, no, we have to show this Dark Priestess page. What?
I think the issue is the way that they're showing us the pages. Because, like, we get the spell to kill a female warlock we were shown earlier just as Prue was supposed... Or just
as the book was starting to turn evil.
Right, and just as Piper was starting to turn evil.
Yeah.
And then...
And it was on a darker page, too.
Right. And then we get the Dark Priestess page from the Dark Priestess. And I think that's the issue that we're having. Is that she turns to the page that is her vanquishing spell.
Yeah. If they had just put that back when the book was starting to turn...
If they had put
put it on a lighter page next to the Hemlock killing spell... No, here's my thing.
Yeah.
Because the book is now supposedly good.
Right.
So they have to be able to use that because, again, this spell is a good spell. It's very clear. It's vanquishing an evil power.
Right.
So if you have the juxtaposition of the lighter page with a vanquishing of a Dark Priestess next to a Hemlock killing spell, that's a bit more jarring. And like the colors would support that, I think.
Right.
And then later you can show the killing a female warlock spell on a dark page that the priestess has turned to. And that would work out because she's already turned Prue into a warlock.
Exactly. But even then, the killing a female warlock spell, why is that a dark spell?
Don't know.
That should be a good spell. So it's a lot of confusingness with the book is turning evil and yet not.
Maybe mind controlling a female warlock, something like that? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, our priestess screams and spins and is vanquished in a blast of particles.
Yeah, it's the classic turn and blur where she's like, I don't know if y'all have seen the Deathly Hallows movies from Harry Potter, but Luna Lovegood and her dad do this great dance where they're like spinning around each other and doing this like move. And
little hand finger move.
I've done that in plays, and it's really fun and it's really cute. Yeah. And it almost looks like that, but like she's on a turntable and her hands are up and she's just like screaming.
Yeah, she's vanquished in a blast of particles. And Prue says that it was a wedding from hell, which is a small, possibly unintended callback to episode 106.
But then she gets really happy, and she's like, well, I was the first to get married after all.
Yeah. This makes Piper remember that they, killed Leo.
Yeah.
And we end the scene with all of them just kind of looking around and being like,
Yeah, we then cut to an exterior night shot of the manor coming through that tree with no leaves.
Yeah. The girls run into the attic, and Piper is crying.
Her nose is all red.
Yeah, and she runs and, kneels on the floor where Leo's bits had been, but they are no longer.
And there's no, red goop.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
There's nothing there. And she kind of, cries out for him a little more. She kind of cries out for him, under her breath. And then he orbs in out of her line of sight. And Phoebe and Prue see him and turn her around, and Piper gets up and hugs him, still crying.
Yeah, he says that vanquishing Xyle broke the bond and reversed all the evil they had done, which part of me is like, then they should have done more evil. You know what I mean? It would have been more fun to see them be more evil if killing the Xyle was going to just make it all go away. Whatever. Phoebe hopes that the wedding planners won't remember what happened. Leo says that they will, but they won't believe it. And Piper thinks that it's unfortunate that Leo will not only remember, but believe what happened to him.
Phoebe apologizes adorably for killing him.
And he accepts the apology, saying that he knows that it wasn't the real them.
But Prue isn't so sure. And she's like, there had to have been some evil in there to begin with, or we wouldn't have turned. And I'm like, that's a Phoebe line.
Yeah, a little bit. Leo says that just having a bit of evil inside you doesn't make you evil, but that choosing to be evil voluntarily does.
Yeah, Phoebe admits that it was kind of fun for a while to be able to do whatever they wanted with no consequence.
Much to Piper's dismay.
Yeah, she's like, my fiancé being shattered into a gazillion pieces is kind of a consequence.
And Leo thanks her for that, and they kind of smile at each other. It was super cute.
Yeah.
And
they all walk out of the attic and down the stairs.
And Prue says that she understands where Phoebe is coming from, much to Phoebe's surprise. And she asks if she's detecting a thaw in their rift, which I thought was kind of funny. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting turn of phrase.
Yeah. Prue says that if evil weren't enticing, there wouldn't be any.
Yeah. And that to pretend that they're never attracted to it is like pretending it doesn't exist. Phoebe realizes that Cole's name is about to be brought up, and Prue says that she's still upset about her lying about vanquishing him, but she now understands a little better after her trip to the dark side.
She also realizes that Justin really is that boring.
Yeah, he's just so boring.
Like, he's cute, but he's boring.
Yeah. Leo says that his name can be scratched off the wedding guest list.
And Piper says then that she caves and they can scratch all of the names off of the guest list.
Yeah.
She's like, our lives are too bizarre to get a normal wedding, and I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah. She then
Leo is relieved.
Yeah. She then asks Phoebe about the premonition that she got that told them about the Dark Priestess and saved their butts. And Phoebe's like, you wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Yeah.
She's like, I got in touch with my evil side.
Yeah.
And she says that it's something she'll never do again.
And we cut to the scene where she immediately proves herself wrong.
Yeah. We cut to the interior of the mausoleum as Phoebe walks in. She's now wearing black jeans and a pink shirt under a knitted jacket with denim panels on the front. Now, at first, I thought it was like a denim vest with knitted sleeves, but no. It is a knitted jacket with denim panels on the front.
That's weird.
Because the entire back is knitted.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was a little
I was hoping
odd.
It was like a variation on a Letterman jacket, but no.
No. The back of the jacket has like a geometric pattern that's vaguely Native American or like American Southwest.
It must be Prue's jacket.
Yeah, it was very Navajo looking.
Definitely a Prue jacket.
Yeah.
Cole is waiting there.
Still in the same black clothes.
He asks how it went, and she's like, oh, everything's back to normal. And he realizes that she's still not going to change her mind about them.
Yeah. When he asks why, she says that it's complicated.
He gets a little bit upset, and he's like, no, be honest with me. We owe each other that.
She sighs and says that she loves him, and she always will, and nothing's going to change that, but she can't risk the temptation of evil for her or her sisters.
And he tries to tell her that, oh, I'm not evil anymore.
And she says that somewhere inside of him, he'll always be evil, and he can't change that. She then touches his face and says goodbye and starts to head up the stairs out of view. And he says that he's not giving up.
And she shuts the door.
Yeah, as she leaves and closes the door behind her, he says that he's not going away. And we end on a dramatic pull-back shot of him standing in the middle of the mausoleum.
Very
before going to the end of the
too.
credits.
Yeah, like his posture. I really love his posture in this moment for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. And in this moment, here it is. The episode that makes me start not liking Cole again. Because he's not taking no for an answer, and it pisses me off.
Yeah.
I don't know if I will keep a tally of the hating on Cole moments.
Don't keep a tally on that. It's going to be too numerous.
Too many. It'll be too many. But, like, this is the turning point where I was kind of okay with it until this very last scene where he's like, I'm not giving up. Like, I know that he'll come back because I've seen the rest of the show, and even though I can't necessarily remember it all, like, I know that the things that happen between them, and I know that they get back together. Spoiler, sorry. Mm-hmm. But, like, it just... It annoys me in this moment because it's like he's not taking no for an answer.
Mm-hmm. There are definite parts, I believe next season, that I think you will enjoy. Because there's kind of, like, cute moments to do with previous plot, and, like, there's a period of time where they are generally just, like, a very good couple, and I don't think there's a lot to object about.
We shall see.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to spoil for the listeners what happens, but, like, there's a definite period of time where I'm like, oh, this could be, like, kind of endgame a little bit. Like, maybe they'll have troubles, but, like, generally this is how the stasis of this relationship is going to be, and then it's not. But, but there's a period of time where I think you'll, like them as a couple, actually like them as a couple.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens when we get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, that is the end of the episode. Therefore, we are on to our ratings portion.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
Sure. I'll go first.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give this 7.2.
A 0.2? Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I think that is our first 0.2.
Yeah. Make it a 0.25. We might as well make it a quarter.
0.25. All right.
Quarter point. Out of 10 plaid piggies.
Yeah.
Like, going into it, I was more fond of it than I was coming out. Like, it's still a really watchable episode, and I still find a lot of fun points. But, just the plot shit. Like, the stupid exposition and the way it...
There's a lot of
the Deus
inconsistencies.
Ex Machina of it fucking resolving, and
Yeah.
that kind of made me go, oh yeah, I didn't understand plot the last time I watched this. Now this is annoying me.
There are a lot of inconsistencies in this episode that kind of remind me of like when you're reading a novel and nothing gets resolved until the final chapter, and then it gets resolved in 3 sentences.
I can't recall reading any of those lately. Although sometimes when I'm like reading a romance novel, I'm like, there's literally 10 pages left, and like the quote-unquote climax of the novel hasn't happened yet. And I'm just like, this is not enough time.
Yeah.
Like, there has to be a denouement.
Yeah.
Where's the fucking denouement? Is it going to be the last goddamn page? Are they just going to skip to the goddamn wedding? Like, what? No.
Yeah. Anyway, I am giving it a 7 out of 10 white lighter ice cubes. Because I thought it was funny.
Yeah. Not so much white as red.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Black and white and red all over.
Yep. Before we get to our outfits, I think it's very interesting the powers that the girls got.
They got all of them warlock powers.
Right.
And then variations on their own. Or at least variations on Piper's.
They got variations
never really
on
saw-
each other's.
We never saw any premonitions from Phoebe.
Right, Phoebe
so
doesn't
we have
get
no
premonitions.
idea what like would have transformed. They clearly have transmogrification powers now, which
Well,
is
that's
interesting.
the thing. So I figured it out. So here's the thing. As warlocks, they all get the power to blink.
Mm-hmm.
Phoebe, instead of having the power of premonition, now has telekinesis, as well as transmogrification.
I don't know if that's an instead.
Well,
we
yeah,
don't
we don't
see any
see her get
premonitions.
premonition, so we don't know if it's an instead. But we don't see her get. But that's the point: is we don't see her get a premonition. We see her using telekinesis.
Yeah.
Piper, instead of being able to freeze them,
Like in
freeze
time.
in time,
She
she
literally
literally
freezes.
freezes them.
Which is, I think, a fun turnaround of that power. Like, now it's not a stasis, it's an active, like, transforming thing.
Right. But so we see that all 3 sisters now have the same power to blink. Prue and Phoebe both have telekinesis.
Yeah, Prue's doesn't really change.
Right. Hers just gets more powerful. And Phoebe and Piper both get the transmogrification.
Presumably, Prue probably has that too, because if those two do,
Right,
just
but we
have
don't
time
see
to
her-
show it in Prue because
Yeah,
it
we
wasn't
don't see her use
necessary
it.
to the scene.
Right. So it's just very interesting that when they become evil, they get the same powers as each other.
Well, yeah, they appear to get, aside from the freezing power, they appear to get the entire complement of warlock powers.
Yeah.
We remember from Steve Valentine?
Yeah.
Was that his name? Okay. We remember from him the whole transmogrification thing. But he had to steal that from someone.
Yep.
So...
Yeah. It's interesting. Like I said, it's interesting to see what powers they wind up with.
Yeah, it really is.
Anyway, I just wanted to put that out there because I thought it was an interesting change with their powers once they became evil.
Mm-hmm. I think they could have done more with that.
They could have. There was a lot of things that they could have done with this episode that...
Mm-hmm. It needed some rewrites.
Yeah.
After what apparently must have been the rewrites.
Well, anyway, so
Of the rewrites.
on to the outfits. I'm not going to lie, Prue's evil outfit was pretty good looking.
It was.
Yep.
I loved it.
Yep. And the sparkly metallic outfit that Piper wore at the club was, I think, my favorite of hers. And I didn't hate I didn't hate the outfit that Phoebe wore for most of the episode, but I really liked her hair in the pre-credit scene. Where it was down with just a little bit pulled up.
Yeah.
It was super cute. And I wish that they had kept that hair for the rest of the season. For the rest of the show.
For some reason in my memory I remembered Piper's outfit as having different ribbons. Like they were larger, slightly wider and satin instead of what they actually were. So I don't know, my brain just slightly transformed her outfit. But I remembered that there were lots of ribbons.
Interesting.
And Phoebe's I always remembered. I loved Phoebe's main outfit.
Yeah.
I'd never wear it, but I love looking at it.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't bad. It was one of those where it was a slightly confusing outfit just in describing it.
Yeah.
But looking at it, it wasn't confusing. It was just, it was a cute top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a knit, lace front, crop top sweater with blue flower trim.
Yeah.
Is about the most succinctly I can describe that.
Yep, sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so with our ratings and outfits done, we are on to social media stuff. Stuff and things and stuff.
Mm-hmm. As always, you can find us at charmchats.com where we'll have our episode notes and links and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We are on Twitter and Tumblr as CharmChatsPod.
Mm-hmm.
We are on Instagram
and Facebook
as CharmChats.
Yep. And you can get our stuff if you want to have some merch. You can head over to redbubble.com/people/waterflame.
Mm-hmm.
And pick up some merch there.
Yeah, we've got a few options. And hey, if you think of anything you'd maybe like to see us put on there, like a quote or just an idea, send us an email or something over at charmchats@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing we have. We have email and we love hearing from people.
We really, really do.
And
it's a lot of fun.
If you are the kind of person who maybe has a couple of extra bucks a month to throw our way so we can keep doing this and pay for things like publishing.
Yeah. Like keeping the website up and keeping the episodes coming up on iTunes.
Then head on over to patreon.com/charmchats.
Yep. And speaking of Patreon, we have 2 new patrons.
What?
So, at the $5 tier, thank you so very much. We have a patron named Brendan, and we have a patron named Jesse. And so we shall now shout both of their names into the ether. We will go in alphabetical order, starting with Brendan. Ready? Brendan! Jesse! Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you both so very much for being amazing and sending us some moolah. And a reminder for anyone who is wondering about possibly becoming a patron, you get some interesting things if you become a patron. You get some bloopers and tangents that don't make the show.
You get access to our Discord server.
Yep. And you get access to the Patreon exclusive episode where we talk about the new reboot trailer of Charmed. And, we may make other Patreon exclusive stuff in that regard. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, that will be Patreon exclusive. While our Discord server will probably become less exclusive once we get to season 4. We will open it up to a few more people. The Patreon exclusive episodes of things will still be Patreon exclusive episodes.
Okay.
Because reasons.
Yeah.
Gotta keep them coming back.
Gotta have some kind of incentive.
Exactly. I mean, as much as I love the little bloopers and tangents, I understand it's not a lot. I get it. But, that's also because we don't fuck up as much as we used to.
Fair.
We really
now
don't.
our bloopers are mostly just extended clips of you cracking the fuck up.
Yeah. Or I still put in stuff from like old podcasts too. Just I'll randomly go through and put in stuff like that. But I digress. I'm not going to tangent about the things that you get as a Patreon patron. Just, if you want to check it out, you can get access to that at every tier. Even the $1 tier gets you access to that.
Mm-hmm.
So there is that. But I believe on that note we are done for another episode. So until next time,
sleep tight and don't let the warlocks bite or shotgun marry ya.
Yes. Goodbye.
Phoebe, Piper, and Prue, they've got evil to slay and some potions to brew. So we'll see where it's at next time with Kendra and Kat on Charm Chats.